What's up guys, this is Gesture of Nan and welcome back to To-Do List Minecraft. So, today we need to go and check on the to-do list first, but I know what we're doing because I was chatting with the to-do list room earlier. This premise is getting thinner and thinner. Let's have a look anyway. Buttons triggered. Okay. Oh. Guys? Where? Oh no, firstly it's too loud, as usual, but my wisps are gone. Oh, that's so saddening. I love my wisps. No, they're not wisps. They're evil demon things. I don't know what I'm going to get out while I'm talking because that's really, really annoyingly loud. Okay. Yeah, they're gone. I'm pretty sure I know why they're gone. In order to fix my mob spawner, which, by the way, stopped spawning mobs for no reason a little while ago, I had to clear this whole area of inhabitants. I was lucky enough that I missed this section because I did it in my MC edit. I'm lucky enough that I missed this section because that would have wiped out all of my people. But I must have got as far as the to-do list room. So they're gone, and maybe we'll replace them with something else. But let's check out the list anyway. That's a bit sad, but well, you know, sometimes stuff happens. Okay, mining camp and magic castle. Okay, so what this means is that start the music again. Good. Oh, I should close the door because I never get to close the door. There we go. So what this means is that, so over here is our little magical village. And this exists for, I'm going to go over and actually show you it. It exists for a purpose. And that was actually, it's kind of like a set piece. And it's actually a little bit dead. I really wanted to be a lot more alive than this. I need to go and continue the construction here a little bit. Because like I said, when I made it, I'm not quite happy with it. But, well, this was existing to be a set piece to go over here, to go with this place over here. Because I want to make a little mining camp, a little, like this road over here comes all the way from this village and all the way around and then all the way over here where there's a small mining excavation, a mining thing going on for the sake of gaining resources for this town and this town. Well, what will be a town over here at some point. And then those resources get traded back to this town over here and so on. And it's part of the whole town trading system thing that I want to set up eventually. So I'm going to set up this first, and what it's going to be, I'll talk to you about it now, is at first it's going to be this area kind of destroyed a little bit, where like trees knocked down, lying down on the floor, the path coming up to here, this water cleared out, you know, all kind of gross. If I can change the terrain a little bit to make it look less like bright and green, I will, because this is, oh, there's a node here, I didn't know about that. Because right now it's very like beautiful and clear because this is a fantasy area. So what I want is for this mining encampment to be kind of infringing on the area of this magical village. That was kind of the point of it actually. So we're going to get started on that. So what I'm looking for is actually just a tent big enough to house like 4 people and then a farm block. And it's not really a huge thing to do. It's just a small, like really a very small encampment. And then over here needs to be the entrance to the mine, and that I want to be a slightly more interesting thing. So I'm probably going to replace this all with smooth stone, or a lot of this with smooth stone, and put in some stuff that looks like mining work. And then there's going to be an entrance here. Now, the entrance is going to just go downhill, because obviously this is not that wide of a hill. It's mostly dirt, so it can't be like going straight. It can't just go straight through, because that'll just be a tunnel. But what I'm looking for is for it to be an entrance, and then a descent, and then a series of rather significant drops. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the Ancient Warfare mine system, but I'm going to do it in a little bit of a unique way. I'm doing my best to do it in a unique way. So that I will be getting started on. And then I'm just going to quickly talk about our second to-do list thing here. So over here is this kind of dark, scary thing, which is from Thorncraft. It's a obsidian totem. And there's this area, it's kind of next to the magical forest. It's a little bit far out. It's got this kind of like evil thing going on here. The magical forest is here. The stupid island of stupidity is over there. God, I hate that thing. It looks awful. Well, that's kind of the point. So there's this nice area here, and it's all kind of grungy and dark and cool. And what I want is a place to practice all the mods that involve magic. So like Thorncraft, Botanica, a couple of other ones, the blood ritual stuff that I've never really gotten into. Even in my like single player off camera campaign, I've never really, oh, I didn't finish this. Interesting. I've never really gotten into it. So I'd like to get started on that, but I'd like to have a castle here. Now, I'll tell you the big selling point of this castle for me, because everyone builds castles. The thing I want to do, the thing I'm really looking forward to do, is building a self-building castle. I want this castle to be in ruins, and then when it gets dark, I want it to build itself. I want it to go from ruins into a fully built castle where I can access, you know, all the rooms and stuff like that, all of the different areas for different setups. which I think I can do. It's the same as all the other stuff in Minecraft. I think I can do it. I've got an idea of how to do it. You'll understand a bit more about that later. So first thing we're going to do though is the mining camp, and that's really simple. I'm just going to get some wool. We're going to build some tents, some nice looking tents, and then we'll come back. I also want to continue the road from over here, so I'll get this road and just bring it. It's going to go like almost diagonally across here because I built it. It should really have gradually wound its way over here, but it's a little bit too straight now, so I'm going to curve it around here. And then it's going to come to this section here. So I will see you in a second when we have something to show for the mining camp. Okay, here we have our mining camp. So I've continued the road. Let me take you all the way back to the start of the road. Or, well, no, to this, where we finished the road. So it goes from, this was where it was, I think, actually. Yeah, it goes from over here, and we'll fly to make things faster. Over here, passes by, this was the, oh, there's still some there. Oh, that's great. Let me get some dirt to hide it. I actually didn't know that was the case. Oh, that's great. This was where the infernal soil thing was. And I was hoping to do something with this area, but I was a bit upset that I couldn't find any infernal soil. It should be around here. It should have been around here. And I assume that it all burnt up. But, well, that's kind of cool that there was this bit left hidden under this block. It shouldn't disappear. Oh, no. It might disappear. Let me change the orientation there a little bit so that it doesn't go. Just because I'm really happy that it's there. It allows me to do something I wanted to do in future. But I thought I was going to have to replace the whatever it's called, spoiled block, infernal block, something like that. Let me sort it out so that this has, so that it's covered, but without being crushed, because I don't want it to disappear. I just want it to like be maintained and even come back each night. That would also be cool. There you go. And now it'll be able to do its thing. And if I just remember that it's there, that'll be great. So anyway, here's our road. And it goes around here. Now it ends up just turning a sharp corner because I couldn't bother to make it zigzag over there. So now it goes over here. So it goes off in this direction. And over here, you can see I continued the road. I started doing it off in this direction, then realized that I was way off from my mark. So now it extends this direction. And it goes over here. I need to rough up the terrain a little bit around here. I kind of left it how it was. But maybe I need to make it look a little bit more like I physically built a road. I much prefer things looking like I physically built them. Which is weird because it's a video game. I chopped down this mushroom. And I've done my best to chop down a lot of mushrooms. As in, I've done my best for everything to look like I cut my way through it. So there's places where things look a bit destroyed. But I want to maybe even do a better job of having things look destroyed. We'll see. But yeah, you walk down this road. It has to cross this lagoon, which is kind of cool. I've done my best to make it look like it's being supported by the rocks there. But and then it comes over here to our mining camp. So here it is. Here is this is a pile of logs, as is this, and then a pile of bricks there. These are 3 tents because I only wanted 3 miners, or maybe 3 miners and then a commander. I'm not really sure, but well, the Ancient Warfare NPCs will be here. The tents are all roughly the same in the inside. They're made of posts and wool, just to sort of break up the red wool color and give them a bit more like permanence. I don't know, it just looked kind of stupid, just red wool blocks. And I also kind of went crazy on the posts here, so don't blame me if there's too many posts. Well, actually, no, blame me if there's too many posts. So they're all the same. They've got dirt on the inside to show that they were just placed there and they've been watched on a lot. And then if we follow the path, we come to this place over here. Need to put some stairs up, actually, now I think about it. And this is the town hall block, and this will be where the food goes, obviously. And then I think I'll probably build into this wall a place to store supplies, just like using jabber barrels. And then the supplies for trade, which will eventually be set up, will go in a chest somewhere around here. So this is the actual mine. Now, I said I was going to do it in a bit of a unique way. This is not particularly unique. It's not actually what I initially planned, but I think that this is not wide enough, as we talked about, to really do what I wanted to do. It's a shame because this is where I want to do it, but it works. I like this crane that I've set up here, by the way. I think I'm really proud of it. It doesn't look particularly crane-like, but I like it nonetheless. I'd like to also give it a function because right now it's just a prop, but I'd like to dig inside here and, I don't know, maybe put something there like a magnum candle or something interesting. Okay, and then the mine hasn't been started, but it will go down here, and I think once they've cleared off enough of these levels, I will move the mine down and extend its bounds so that it actually digs completely underneath this platform. And if I can find a way of stopping the mine from digging up oak wood, I'm going to see if I can't automatically put this oak wood down. Just like so the mine's being held up. But we'll see what I do. I'm definitely thinking that I'm going to make the mine look, as when it's been like drilled out a little bit more, I'm going to make it look a little bit more real rather than just a big perfectly dimensioned hole. I'm going to make it look a little more realistic, or something that looks like it's realistic, but you know, let's face it, I don't know how quarries really work. And then I think what I'm going to do is have mining tunnels inside, and that's where I'm going to do my original idea, which is mining a little bit differently. So that is our mining town. I'm going to fill it up with ancient warfare NPCs while we're doing some other stuff over there, and I'll set it up. So I'm going to give it enough food to live for a long time, because it's only 3 NPCs. It shouldn't consume a huge amount. But after that, this is going to be integrated into the trade system that I'd like to set up. So after that, it'll be a little bit different. But for now, I'm just going to give it food. But I promise you, and I'm looking forward to doing it myself, that it will be a more interesting way of feeding it. Because I hate the fact of I don't like that I have to come over here and I'd have to come over here and give it food. I want it to be part of this world over here. And maybe even integrate some stuff over there. But I like the idea that this magical village and this mining camp are not very happy with each other being there. So there you go. Now, let's move on to what is the thing I really wanted to do in this episode, when that is the magical... Oh, by the way, I'm not quite certain that I'm happy with the way this looks in the end, so I might do some work on it, but we'll see. For now, it's okay, but it's not really as sophisticated as I was hoping. So maybe we'll make some changes. But over here, fly through the ancient village, the magical village rather, looking very nice, or at least I'm kind of... The more I see it, actually, the happier I am with it. And the more I fly through it and you hear the birds singing and you see the spider webs, I like it. Probably want to add some more houses. So let's have a look at our little evil area, or a little magical area. It will probably involve me trimming away some of these trees because there's quite a lot. Now, I think the location of the castle will be roughly here, curling around. I'm not really sure. It's going to be in this area. I'd like to incorporate this dark space in the middle. Now, this is a mob spawner as well, I think, technically. I think from here it can spawn wisps, or... Well, maybe we'll see. But I'd like to incorporate this, leave it in there. But other than that, I think it's going to curl around here. I want to have a big courtyard where we can do stuff with flowers. And then probably a little bit into the mountain. So it's probably going to be a little bit of an L shape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go underground and get some abyssal stone. Or not underground, but underwater. And abyssal stone is actually quite abundant, which is why I like it so much, or one of the reasons I like it so much, and it's really easy to get. Let's go over here and just plunge a bit into the depths. There we go. That's an inventory almost completely filled up with abyssal stone. I'm going to get a bit more. Okay, that's our inventory basically filled up with abyssal stone. I think I will be using that. Now, this is going to work by... I'm going to build the castle. I'm going to build the ruins, and then I'm going to talk about how to make it alive again. I'm going to build a rough structure that maybe might change a little bit, but a rough structure of how things are going to be, and then I will work on making them how. So it's weird. The image I have for this, if I just go in a bit more detail, is of a castle that is fallen down, crumbled down, and then as night sets, it builds itself back to a real castle. So it's kind of like a ghostly thing going on. It's going to be difficult to do that, but I think I can. But basically, I'll have the ruins, crumbled down stairs, piles of blocks, and some of those blocks will only appear in the day, and some of them will only appear at night. But it's going to be using the advanced drawbridge because that's the easiest way I can think of doing this, other than having a crazy amount of pistons, and I've never been very good with, or a big fan of, pistons. So I'm going to build the basic stages, and then we'll get back to it, and we'll talk about what we're going to change. So I will see you in just a second. Okay. I don't know what idiot decided to build next to this, what is definitely a zombie spawner. I think I wasn't sure previously. It spawned zombies. It spawned zombies, and that's not helpful. But here is our castle. Now, that was very dramatic and exactly what I was going for. But, well, what we've done is we've made a broken castle. We've made an incomplete Minecraft build, which is what I always do, actually. So, the plan here... I'll tell you what, I'll give you a tour first. So, here we have these two standing towers. Now, these are the entrance. This is the entrance, obviously. And if you go over here, you have the two identical, well, 4 towers, I guess. 4 towers here, here, and here. And then they've each got a pillar in the center. And they should all be exactly the same size. I did notice that this, I don't know why or how it happened, but this side is, I think, 1 block closer than it should be. There's something confusing going on. I haven't actually quite figured out what I've done wrong yet. I'm sure I'll figure it out as I'm going along. Something is badly placed, and I'll have to repair it at some point because it's so annoying. Something is in the wrong place. I was staring all over my screen trying to find it, but basically there's 1 block extra on one of these sides that I didn't want to be there. basically it's uneven. So other than that, there is just kind of destroyed areas. This is going to be an internal area of sorts. The path has sort of fallen away or been taken away by villagers. I might make some of these when I repair this place, when I repair this place, I might make some of these villagers' houses out of abyssal stone to imply that they came and took away some of the stones from the destroyed castle and made their houses out of it. I don't know. It'd be an interesting thing to do. So, I've aimed to have it looking like things have fallen over and broken. So, for example, there's this stair piece left standing over here, and over here it's fallen down, and this bit has fallen backwards. So I've tried to recreate roughly the same thing. So this is the lying down stair piece, and should have the same amount of blocks. And, well, I like the way it's worked out mostly. Now, a certain amount of the thing here was with the idea in mind that I wanted to build itself back up again. So there shouldn't be any block, or there shouldn't be many blocks that can't be... It's actually hard to explain without being able to show you what happens, but there shouldn't be any blocks that are unplaceable. No, I can't explain it. You'll see at the end. I've had to... the best thing I can say is that I've had to put certain orientations of things remaining. So obviously these are ruins. I have to put some of the remaining ruins in a certain way that can allow me to place the rest down when this castle rebuilds itself. For example, to get this to rebuild to here, to get this to rebuild the wall here, I need to have this section here so that it can grow out this way, and then this section here so it can grow out this way. Now, actually, I realise I've missed a small section here. So, for example, when I have... this will be replaced with an advanced drawbridge, and it will bring it out to here, and this to here, and this to here, or the other way, or the other direction. It could go out to here. But that will not allow me to fill in this side here. So this will actually have to have a small section over here. And then the same is true of this bit over here. This exists to allow me to put in, or actually this will be a bit... I'll have to change some things as I'm building, as I'm making it build itself. But this was designed to allow me to build the bit that goes out here, but it needs to come out a bit further. So there needs to be a place for advanced drawbridges to go to build the castle for me. So basically all the stuff that's on the ground that just needs to go up, that's really easy. I can just use drawbridges and fire the stuff up into the air, and then that's where it'll stay. Like along here, that'll be really easy to do. And then the complicated things are where there's only a little bit left and where it's unrealistic to have stuff standing. So I'm already kind of pushing it to have this piece standing where it is, but I can make this piece refill in for itself, and I can make this bit fill in, but it'll be really hard to make all of this fill in without having much more remaining. So about the actual method of building, well, I want there to be 3 stages. I think 3 stages. I want there to be the cleanup, so that's where all of this dirt gets taken out, all of this... all these random blocks that have fallen off. These were supposed to look like, by the way, that they've fallen off. All these random blocks that have fallen off get taken down. And then I'd like there to be the repair, as in like things moving back to where they should be. Like this getting picked up and some of the more central elements going back in. And then all the stuff that goes around it. So I keep moving my hands as if I'm explaining to someone in real life. So, for example, this pillar's fine, but this pillar has fallen over. The first thing that would happen would be that this dirt comes away. Like this dirt disappears. And then, oh, I should do this quickly because I don't want it to be nighttime again. This dirt disappears, then this pillar goes into the ground and then pops back up here in the center. And then the third stage would be these walls building back up around it. And that is so that we can see what's happening. That's so that when it builds itself, it has kind of a cool effect. Like, it's not just, boop, there's a castle. It's more like, okay, there's a bit of a castle, then there's more of a castle, and now suddenly there's a complete castle. So that should be better. The things that are going to be hard are stuff like this, putting this piece back here. That's going to be an advanced drawbridge under the ground, which only has to do 1 block. It's a little bit of a waste. I wanted to do as much stuff at the same time as I could. Like, it seems silly to build an advanced drawbridge just to move these 3 things, but there's no better way of doing it. Stuff like replacing this floor is going to be a little bit annoying, but not impossible. So that just implies that these ones here, these blocks here, are advanced drawbridges that pull in these pieces of dirt, and then these blocks here are advanced drawbridges that push out this abyssal stone, push it all the way to here to replace the floor, to repair it. And that's the same here. Anywhere where there's a block already there, that block has to be taken in by an advanced drawbridge, and then a new block has to be put out by an advanced drawbridge. And that's going to be tricky. So for example, this isn't actually part of the floor, It will in the end be part of the floor. It'll be easier to have it done like that. This isn't part of the floor. This is actually the staircase that's fallen down. Let me show you. Yeah, see, it's actually the staircase that's fallen down. So this will have to be, I'll probably just end up taking these in and then keeping this, because this is actually just an abyssal block, keeping this as part of the floor. But it'll look like overall that it's been put back up here. And then that's basically it. The thing that I have left until last is the roof, because I'm sort of struggling on how to make the roof happen, because I can't have an advanced drawbridge come out of an advanced drawbridge. My life would be so much easier if I could, for example, have one advanced drawbridge, build a block up, another one up here at the end, then build a block out. That would be so much better, and that's actually how I imagined. But it turns out that is not possible, or perhaps I haven't thought of a way of doing that. So that is a shame, but it's not so bad. I'm going to make this castle build, and then we're going to work on the walls. Then we're going to work on the ceiling. So we'll see what I do. I'm going to have to kill off these zombies, and then we will, I'm going to get to work on making this castle build itself. As soon as I've got it to a stage where I'm happy with it being built, I will show you. But I won't show you it building itself, because that is, for me, kind of the big reveal. I won't show you it building itself until we're completely ready for it to go. But the next thing you'll see is this castle built, fully built, but in the stage where if I flip the switch, it could unbuild itself. But it probably won't have the ceiling on yet, because I think I'll have to change a lot to make the ceiling work. We'll see where I stop it, though. So I will see you in a second when this place is looking a little bit more fixed. Okay, so this is a castle, and it's a castle that is, technically speaking, not built. I didn't build most of this, as was kind of discussed. It's been a while since I filmed the first part of this, because it's taken me a huge amount of time to make this. I'm like flabbergasted, and that's not a word I use often. Flabbergasted, I've used it twice now, by the amount of effort this took, the amount of time it took. But I'm actually rather happy with how it turned out. So I tell you what, instead of spoiling it by flying up, I'm just going to give you a tour. So here's the two towers. The two towers that were at the gate. And then if we come over here, this is the entrance to one side. As you can see, it's all very dark, and that is because I haven't quite figured out how I can put in... okay, it has been built. How I can put in lights by magic, because the lights is a difficult thing. The lights are a little bit confusing. I mean... there's certain places in this place, I'll go somewhere brighter so I can talk about this. Oh, I haven't also figured out how to cover up quite all of the redstone, because, or rather the piping, because it's, I'll explain a little bit, but it's a little bit difficult. All these things can fire, these are the drawbridges that are allowing this castle to build itself. All of these can fire in one direction, but they can't fire nothing and then at one block and then nothing else afterwards. They have to fire block, 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 and then whatever light, if I want to put a candle there, for example, a candle, and then block, 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 block. In fact, I don't even know if they can actually put, I keep saying candle, but I mean torch. I don't even know if they can put torches out, but even if they could, they couldn't put one, for example, let's say here. It'd have to be in where this block is, it'd have to be here underneath, which it couldn't do. So, I haven't quite figured out how to light this place, but don't worry, I will at some point. Now, there's also, I haven't filled in a hole over here. Under here there is a large network of tunnels which I use to make this, because it's such a hassle running this redstone everywhere. It's basically hollow under here. I'm worrying about the structure of this, the structural stability of this place, because there's so many tunnels underneath. Okay, and then the other side over here, exactly the same thing. There you go, having trouble flying about. Exactly the same thing. This is the inside. This floor has been rebuilt. The dirt that was there has been taken out. And this, well, it's all been put back together. There are some places, this actually just needs to be filled with a block, because I've covered over most of the redstone. Let me get my my wrench so that I can show you. There we go. There you go. That's how this place looks like without all the covers on, the painted piping cover, conduit covers. So you can see, for example, that the entirety of this pillar is conduits, because up here, if we go up here, this entire section has to be built from the top, and that's the same over here. This whole section has to be built from this top side. So these are all real blocks, but the piping for this block runs up the side here, or the conduits, has to come outside, because I had a bit of a trouble getting this to run in the right place, and then it runs over to here. Oh, I haven't covered up this block either. So these are what cause me the most problem of anything, because anything that is up here has to be created from pistons that are up here if I want there to be space inside the castle. I could very easily have all of these things created from the bottom, as in all pistons like over here you see here. These are, not, I keep saying pistons, but they're actually drawbridges. These are all from the bottom. They all fire up to here, and all of this block comes from the bottom. But if I did that everywhere, then there wouldn't be any inside to these towers. They'd just be a big solid block like this, which is not what I was looking for. These are solid. All of this is one block fired up from the base. But these are hollow, and that was what was most complicated. So when this is ruins, which I will show you at some point afterwards, after I've finished the roof, which I'll talk about in a sec. When this is ruins, this stuff will still be here. Obviously, it won't look like this. I'll cover it up with these blocks. But it'll still be here because I had to have it still there. So this is the other thing. There have been compromises on the amount of ruins left. There is significantly more, but it still looks like ruins. It still doesn't look like a built castle. So it's not such a big deal. I have also repaired the fountain, and now somewhere over here, I should be able to find it. There should be, or maybe it's, well, okay, I know where the other ones are on the other side. There should be one here. There he is. The drawbridge block, which puts up the broken pieces of fountain, and then under here, this piece of abyssal stone will be cut out by the piston underneath it, or the drawbridge underneath it. So the fountain takes itself apart, which is pretty cool. And the only other thing that's really a problem is this wiring. So the wiring that sticks out of the building is there because I couldn't figure out another way of putting it anywhere else. Wiring has to go on the outside or within 2 blocks distance of one of these pistons. So if I have 2 pistons like here, they need one wire coming from the bottom or the side or the top, whatever, to power them both. But that wire really has to be hidden. So actually I just realized I can probably do these ones from underneath, which actually is quite a relief. I can probably do these ones from underneath, but I bet there's one on the inside that explains why they had to be done from the outside. Yeah, I don't think I could have powered some of the blocks in here if I hadn't had it on the outside. We'll see what... The thing is, I just need to go through all of my wiring and find alternative solutions. Like, I'd probably run this underground, down and then back up in order to achieve the same effect, but there are some places where that's just impossible. So if I show you on the back side of this castle, there's loads of wiring that just goes... I think I'm ruining the word wiring for myself. Wiring. There's loads of wiring that just goes out, and there's no other room to do it. This is a 1 block thick wall, which means there's nowhere to hide the wiring in. So I'm a little bit stuck as to what to do for that. I'll probably have to find another solution to wire this up, but it's a little bit annoying. I can hide it with, if I paint a skystone block with a conduit with a skystone block, that shows up as invisible. If I place that block over here, which is actually a conduit, then it'll render this side of the block invisible. So I can't use what I normally use to hide conduits in places that aren't particularly subtle, because it would make this a hole. It would turn this side of the block into a hole. So I'll figure out something for those, because there's a lot of them really. I've managed to cover up some here by using sand, but that's not available here or here, unless I built a mountain here, which would be kind of, I like the fact that it's on the sea. Oh, I also extended the blocks down to the ocean floor because it seemed more appropriate. There's a hole there that I missed. And then let's go and show you the front, because I've only showed you the sides. This side is exactly the same as this side, apart from that this about 2 blocks distance that I don't really understand why it happened. Like over here, these 2 paths are exactly the same. Over here, there is only 1 block in between this like curly block, the ornate one, and the plain one. Over here, there are 2 blocks distance. And I don't know how that happened. I think I talked about it before. Don't really understand it. It's very frustrating, and it's causing problems, already caused a lot of problems, but we'll see about that on that side. So let's go in here. This is the entranceway. Over here, you will see the pillars that hold up the sides. And then there's just 2 like wings to the castle. I might put something in here. There is a hole. There is always holes. I realised that there's nothing more difficult than filling just this 1 block here with a block with a advanced drawbridge block, because of the fact that I can't put anything anywhere. It's really hard to explain the difficulty of doing this. I'll show you it, I guess, when it's I'll deactivate it so you can see in a second. I won't show you it debuilding because I want you to see that when it's finished, but I'll show you it when it has finished debuilding. Because I have 2 switches to control that stuff over there. But first I will just show you this side as well, exactly the same thing, but because these 2 are uneven, this side has a much more beautiful final wall because there are 2 holes. I've managed to fill in this hole on the top so that there's not a hole all the way to the bottom, but this one proved a little bit harder because this whole floor is built out by these blocks over here, which means that I can't put a piston here. All of this isn't here when it's not built, so this hole is almost impossible to fill. I'll think of a solution later, or maybe use it for something, like make it a functional hole. There's nothing better than a functional hole. Then over here we've made this little chamber. This is also annoying because I've got this redstone conduit running up the side. I'm going to see if I can find a solution for that too. We'll see what happens. And then there's nothing on this side. Maybe I'll use this to put some storage or something. I don't know. Some storage that's the thing. Storage that disappears when I'm not using it, or storage that disappears at night. That's what makes this thing so difficult. The fact that it disappears. Oh, I missed the block here. Okay. Well, now the other thing is if we can go up here. There's this upper section. Now, the roof isn't high enough. I realized this a long time ago. The roof isn't high enough, but that just means I have to add about 4 blocks to the top of every single one of these. Not a big deal. Now, putting the roof on. I told you that this would be a problem, and it's going to be a problem. What I have had to do, these cotton or wool blocks are here to show you what I'm going to do. What I'm going to have to do is build more ruins. Maybe I should take the place down so I can show you first, actually. Let me deconstruct the place, and I will show you what I'm going to do over there so you can see more clearly where the ruins are going to be. It should be this switch, right? I'm going to hit it, and then we're going to cut to when it's finished. There we go. And I'll also trigger this on so you can see. Okay, this is what the place actually looks like. Bit of a mess, my bad. Right, so this roof. Now, here's where the ruins actually go to. These are all ruins of the castle. I'm actually quite happy with how destroyed it looks. It really does look destroyed. It'll look better when all of these blocks have been replaced with, have all been covered with different kind of blocks to make them blend into the ruins a bit. Because right now it's like a ruin that someone blew up gold all over. But here, there are no ruins on the top. There's no ruins stood on the roof, which means that it's almost impossible to have something come out and cover the roof. So these blue blocks are where I'm going to have to put a new, I'm going to have to delete this advanced piston here, this advanced drawbridge, and then, oh no, sorry, this one, and then have it come up here. Just have normal blocks come up here, which will contain conduits, which will control these pistons. And these pistons will be what fills in the roof all the way to over here. You see, past here, and then these ones will fill in the roof all the way to, where's the line? Here. The roof will start filling in up to here, and then on either side, because there's a gap in the middle, there needs to be a gap here. You see where the wall stops. Because there's a gap in the middle, these pistons have to fill in to this side, and then over here, I didn't actually put some wool down, but there'll have to be some here to fill in for this side. So it adds more ruins, which ruins that, well, you can't ruin a ruin, but it damages the effect of it being ruined because of the fact that there's now more ruins there, so there's less to appear later, if that makes sense, which I'm not sure it does. And then to handle the fact that when this place is built, maybe I'll rebuild it now that I've explained that so I can show you, but there you go, you got a sneak preview of how it looks. I'm just going to rebuild it so I can explain the stairs. I actually, unfortunately, forgot to switch off the damage blocks before I turned it on, so that can cause some problems sometimes, because there are little blocks dispersed. I might be able to find one to show you there. Little blocks dispersed everywhere. Here's the, this one pops up, 1 block of fitted abyssal stone. I forgot to turn them off before I started rebuilding the castle, so it might have caused some damage. I'm just going to do a quick check. No, it's fine, okay. They're pretty foolproof. Like, it's really hard to ruin the piston blocks. Okay, so the stairs. What's going to have to happen is that this will have to be a piston. So this is pistons firing out just a standard amount of these kind of blocks, abyssal bricks, just to like fill in the space. Now, these white ones will have to be pistons firing out 2 blocks of wall, 3 blocks of, 2 blocks of wall, 3 blocks of stairs, 2 blocks of wall. This one will have to be the same, and then this one will have to spend out just 2 blocks of wall, this one just 2 blocks, this one just 2 blocks, so that I get the effect of stairs and then a wall. It's a little hard to visualize. These pistons are a pain to understand what they're going to do, even though it seems fairly simple. When you have so many of them working at the same time, it's really hard to explain quite exactly what they have to do, but I assure you, there's going to be stairs here, and they're only going to be here when the night is up, when the moon is up. So, well, there you go. Yeah, so this is going to be the same thing. Stairs are going to come out of here, these white ones, and over here on the other side, exactly the same. Stairs are going to go out here. Like I said, I need to add in some ruins here so that I can fix, because, so here's the thing. I can send out these stairs to here. Oh, actually, this side is actually too short, so I need to extend it, like fix the castle a little bit and extend it out to over here. But I can send the stairs to here, but I can't then have a block come up from the stairs and fix this wall. So stairs come out, block comes out to make this wall square instead of it being, you know, staggered blocks like over there. It'll if I don't have something come out and fix it, it'll just be 3 different layers of blocks rather than being a wall with stairs in the middle. So that's what that has to do. A little bit complicated. I hope the wall explanation helped. If it didn't, well, you'll just have to see at the end, because It's really annoyingly complicated to visualize. Maybe it's easier for other people. Maybe I'm having some sort of imagination problem, but for me it's really difficult to visualize, and I only really understand what I'm doing as I'm doing it. So I hope the explanation with the wall helped. Now this wall over here is for me to help me understand the stages, because I'm sure it's pretty much easy for you guys. But this red stage is over here, this switch. If I show you, this is the switch. I might be able to turn it on without doing any damage. Let me turn it on. This is the switch that makes the place messy. I'm going to deactivate it now just in case. Because one of the only dangers with this switch is that if it places grass, that the grass forms on top of underneath a block and then loses the fact that it's grass, and then it becomes dirt, and then the piston can't pull it in. So it's important not to let the grass become dirt when I activate it at the wrong time, if that makes sense. So this is the red stage. This triggers all pistons that have the red mark, or rather the red setting, and this triggers all pistons that have the green setting. Now, that means that this whole castle builds itself in 2 stages, cleanup and building. What I would like is cleanup, neatening up, repair, building. What I need is to go around every single one of these pistons and change them all so that the first things that happen is, for example, there's some pistons here that take in this grass, or replace this grass, because normally there's a hole there, that fix this grass, for example, and I want that to be done first and not in the same stage as building up, because that's part of cleanup, but it's not the same part of cleanup as picking up bricks that were wandering around, that were floating. Like, there's a collapsed beam here that needs to be picked up, but isn't the same thing as repairing, for example, the ground. So I'm going to go around and make several other stages. I'm going to go around and make probably blue, purple, red, I don't know, so that as the night progresses, just in the space of maybe 2 minutes, the castle builds itself in 5 different stages to be completely finished. And then when the night is done, it works backwards through these stages. And that's mostly going to be done with light sensors, probably Carpenter's light sensors. So, and also probably a few timers, because the light sensors only have 3 settings. I think nighttime, monster spawning, and moon. I'm not really sure. They only have a few settings, and I probably want 5 stages, and there's only 3 settings to control. So there'll probably be a few that are controlled by a timer that delays it for an extra couple seconds. So that is that. This is the castle. The problems to be solved are the roof, the sticking out conduits, which need to be fixed. I can at least put them on the inside so that they're hidden, but still, it's not a great solution. And then also these walkways. So this is going to be a stairs. There's no staircase to the roof, though. If you notice, there's no staircase in there that leads to the top of these roofs. There's none in here. There's only these staircases, which lead to this inner internal floor. But there's no way of getting onto these roofs, and I kind of designed them to look a bit like a walkway. If you see, I've put some stairs descending here, and you go over here, and you can walk this, and you can go up this stair. I designed it so that you could theoretically walk around it, and there's no way up to the roof, so I need to fix that as well. Maybe I won't fix it before I show you it again, because it's going to be a little bit more complicated. I also need to add a path here, because there's no way of crossing this section other than, I guess, walking on this particularly precarious wall. But it doesn't look like that's what you're supposed to do. It looks like you can do that, but you're not supposed to do that. So I want to have a walkway of some sort appear here, which could be extremely annoying, because all of these blocks aren't really here. These blocks all disappear. The only blocks that are in this area are these wall blocks. So the only thing I could really do is build some ruins up to this level, and then have them come out from here. So we'll see what I do, because I'm hesitant to add more ruins. I'm going to get the roof finished, and then we'll talk about adding more ruins. So I will see you in a second when I have finished the roof, and then we'll talk about what I can change, what I can fix, what we're going to do from there. Okay, here we are with a completed castle. Now, it's completed in the sense that everything that I meant to do previously has been finished, apart from the changing of the way it builds itself. Because when it builds itself, it does it all in one stage. Everything just comes out at once, which is not very magical looking. It's just a castle that suddenly starts going and all the bottoms become the tops, which it doesn't really explain what I mean very much. Well, I'll show you the inside anyway, because now what I've done is still very dark, because I still haven't figured out the lighting solution. If we go up here, you'll see that you'll see there's 2 holes here, which means that these advanced drawbridges do not have enough blocks in them. I'll fix that next time. This is higher, which means it's a little bit nicer, a little bit less cramped. When I walk around in here, if I could see the ceiling, I'd be able to tell you that it feels less squished up. But then if I come out here and show you on the roof, which there are no stairs to yet, you will see this, firstly this cool roof, which is, you know, flat. It's not very complicated because it was very difficult to make it very complicated, but this is roughly the pattern I showed you, if you remember, with the wool, or I guess it was only a second ago for you, with the wool going in this direction, and then over there, and then over there, and then some here. Didn't put any wool here, but I did need to put stairs here in the end. Created a new problem with the whole conduit showing thing, which bothers me, but I'll still need to find a solution for that because they've still got the same problem over here. Looks like someone's been sewing through our castle or something. Well, you know, that's how it looks when it's grown out. These stairs are rather lovely. I'm really happy with the way they worked out, actually. It just like, it seems to have fit perfectly. I may increase the height of some of these blocks here. Just one or two. Oh, these guys need the last block in the sequence changed to be a fitted block rather than, oh no, to be abyssal block rather than fitted. I'll do that next time as well. I've got to go over and make sure that I've done a complete pass of everything to make sure everything's being completely replaced in the correct way. And then I think I'd also like to go over and do some decorating. So I might, for example, replace every now and then a few blocks in a pattern with maybe the fitted ones or the brick ones, or maybe some more fancy blocks. I don't know. But I'm thinking I might do some decorating so the castle isn't just a flat, completely identical blocks. But I will do that when I have made sure that everything works and covered up all of the gold, because, or rather all of the advanced drawbridges, because right now I can hardly tell how it looks finished, because it's like still got, like, these blocks will not be there or should not be there when it's finished, and also I can't even see in it because it's not lit. But well, I'm going to do some decorating when it's done. I will show you now just how it looks when the castle is unbuilt, but I'm not going to show you what unbuilding, because like I said, I'm saving that for like a big reveal when it's finally finished. So give me a second. Okay, now I bet the roof is still going because the roof takes ages. Well, okay, you can see the roof deconstructing itself. Not particularly flabbergasting, but it's... I think I used that word twice now. It's not particularly flabbergasting, but it is... it does look much better when the whole thing's doing it. That's the only problem with the roof as well, because it's so long. It takes so much longer than everything else, and so it doesn't look quite as good as anything else. Like, on all of these walls, it's like one part comes out from here, and then another part comes from here, another part comes from here. This completes in one section, this completes another way. It all looks very cool, like a puzzle being put together, but this just looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like all counting all the way across to here. And it's not very appealing, but there's no really better way of doing it. I mean, it's not hugely attractive, but it will do. So, oh, there you go. I'm glad with the castle, or happy with the castle. I don't know quite what glad with the castle would mean. I'm just going to put it back up so that we can finish talking about it. There you go. I had the last piston go off, but I'm sure that the roof is still going. Oh yeah, we can tell because there's light inside here, and for once we can see. Quickly take a look at how cool it is before all the light fades away from the world, which is kind of what this castle's about, because it's an evil castle, so maybe it's not a bad thing that it's dark. Maybe I should just put a dispenser of night vision potions at the entrance. That's actually a much easier solution than figuring out a way to put light in all this place. Okay, well, so last things to do, really, are to set up a system of sensors to determine when it's night. Well, not a system, 2 or 3 sensors, because I want 2 or 3 signals with 2 or 3 stages, or 4 or 5 maybe, stages of building this castle, so that it builds more slowly, which also, by the way, will improve the speed of its building, because it actually builds quite slowly, because it's trying to process all of the pistons at once. It'd be much easier if it processed them in stages. So that's another reason to stage it. But it will look just much better if things are set up so that they build, like, I'm thinking having the towers building first, and then the roofs, and then the walls. I'm not really sure, but I'm thinking of building them in stages. Oh, and I forgot to mention just that I've added these walkways in between here, which is nicer, which is better, because now you can actually... Oh, well, this is broken. There's supposed to be a... I think that this brick doesn't fire higher enough up. Higher enough up, I think is what I said. I think this piston, or this advanced drawbridge, is putting out itself too far. I wonder if it even goes inside the building. Because these aren't staged, I actually didn't have to set... Well, I can't see whether it goes all the way. I didn't actually have to set them all at the right distance. Some of them just happen to hit these blocks after they've constructed themselves, and then that can't push any further, so that it's not an issue for me to I don't have to count them out, you see. They just hit where they have to go. But in this case, clearly, this piston is faster than the bottom piston down here, so it's cut off the stairs that are supposed to be put here. But I can fix that again, along with the hole that I missed over there and stuff like that. And then there's the same thing over here. You'll be able to see how it's actually supposed to look. It's just a little stairs in the corner of the building. It's not an ideal solution. I wanted to have this become stairs, and then this level here be the walkway, But because on this side there are pistons, and those pistons are very necessary, I need this piston to fire out this side of the building. I could, now I think about it, I could actually fix that by having, now I think about it, I could fix that. But I've settled on this design. I'm not going to go and change it now because I'm incredibly lazy. Langy is what I am. Okay, so I'm going to set this up to fire in stages, and then I think before we show each other, or at least I show you, you're not showing me anything, I show you the castle building itself. I'm going to cover up all the blocks and see if I can't figure out a way to cover this stuff up, or at least put it on the inside of the building so when it's outside you can't see it. So yeah, we'll see what I'll do. But I'm going to set it up to be in stage anyway. I think I'm going to have a little room over here, kind of hidden away, where all the equipment for turning this place on and off is going to be hidden. So I will see you in a second when that is finished. It's going to be a little while. It's not that complicated, but it's going to be a little while for me. But you will see it just now. Alright, third time's the charm. I swear, this evil castle is genuinely evil. This is the third time I've tried to record this sort of outro kind of thing, and it's not worked. This episode has been beset with horrible technical difficulties. For example, we will talk about this mushroom biome over here in just a second. But the castle, well, in the end, am happy with it. This is how it looks now, without any sort of wiring showing. Well, only little bits of wiring showing anyway. This is how it looks when everything's sort of destroyed again. All the messy blocks are back up, all the holes are there, one over here too. All the stuff's been put back into, or I guess I'm not sure if you can say it's put back in, but it's like put back out, I guess. Apart from, I just realized that I should have changed this pillar here. There's no point to it because this pillar has to remain whole, so this shouldn't be here because obviously this hasn't fallen down. Maybe it was brought from another part of the castle, I don't know. Well, anyway, this is not perfect. In the end, it was so complicated that I sort of lost track of what I was doing as I was doing it, but I'm okay with how it turned out. I'm going to go show you the wiring over here. It should be in this little cave. If I go up here, there we go. So this is how the timer works. Up here there is a carpenter's daylight sensor, and that's just like so that I could decorate it a little bit differently. And then down here are a series of, what are they from? They are timers from Project Red, and that basically the way it works is while this is activated, a inverted signal is keeping the blocks down there up, the ones that are like the ruins for the daytime, and then keeping all of these down, keeping all of these timers from going off. As soon as this is relieved, these all start counting, and when their count finishes, they send out the piston, which puts the redstone block here, and here's another issue, there are supposed to be pistons all along here. I don't want to touch them in case it breaks the game, but there are usually pistons here, and that's usually what allows the thing to reset afterwards. But imagine that this thing here, you see here, imagine that it was there, alright? So basically the timer pushes out this piston, which puts the block here, which locks the timer, stopping it from keeping going over and over again, pointlessly running. I just didn't want to see them all clicking all over and over again, so this is just a way of locking them after one usage. And then in the daytime, this inverted redstone bit here re-triggers this red pipeline, which sends off the piston, pushing this back to the reset position, and then the whole thing starts again in the morning. So This is the end of it. This is for the very last setup. I think this goes... So obviously this one here, like I said, is the ruins. And then I think this is towers, walls, start of roof, anything that was left over. And then, I can't remember what this one is. But basically they're all stages. And they're all set up to accord with the different colours of different redstone conduits out there. So that's how it works. And I think I should be able to deactivate it so that you can see it going like that. Right? Yeah, okay. So there's the first timer going. And that'll start now, I think. And this one's still, they're all going at the same time. It's just that some of them are very long and some of them are very short. So here you go. And you can see that this locks the timer from going anymore. And they'll all go down there. And in the morning, if the pistons were working, they'd be reset. But I don't believe they will be reset this time. So tough luck. I also punched that block out so they wouldn't be able to fix themselves anyway. Let's go down here and we can see the castle on its way to being built. I'm pretty happy with how it built itself, honestly. There we go. Roof isn't out yet. Oh yes, of course, the roof is the longest timer. It really should have been the shortest. It takes so long to build, but it works. I'm not happy with the roof. Of all these things, the one I'm least happy with is the roof. So how did I do the lighting in here? Well, the lighting is done with a painted skystone block. If I can find it, it's invisible, so it's a bit hard to find sometimes. Should be one here. Oh, that's one. Yep, there we go. A painted skystone block, and it's painted with glowstone, which allows it to sort of make a light but be invisible, which is exactly what I needed. So in the daytime, when this thing is open, you can't see the lights, and when it's closed, the lights don't shine much outside. That ended up being the best way to light it, I think. I mean, I've had a lot of ideas about how this could be done better, but I am quite happy with the way it turned out. There are a few lighting glitches in some places. Don't know why. I guess the update for the blocks is a bit weird, because it's all these blocks are put in all at once. Maybe there's some sort of problem. Oh well. And finally, the trick I learned to hiding the conduits that were almost impossible to hide. Well, for me. I've used painted conduit covers. I painted them with skystone. That was fairly easy and simple. Everyone knows about that. The thing that was the problem was that when I connected them here, for example, where there's already a painted conduit, it would turn this face of the conduit invisible, meaning that there was a big hole in the side of our castle. So what I had to do was only connect them with the advanced drawbridges and never with ones where there was a conduit touching. So I mean, in the end, you have these big loops of wiring. This one is the worst because it was really hard to get to all the blocks. So each one has to have basically its individual wire touching it. So not too bad, but still, it's a little bit off-putting. There's one or two wires sticking out in certain places, but generally speaking, the place has worked. I'm quite happy with it. Let me just turn the daytime on. There we go. I also added these decorations to the front, and these were also in favour of hiding a few bits of piping. I think this one here hides the one that had to come out. In order to avoid having pipes sticking out on the side, I just had to make a few compromises in terms of decoration. But in the end, I like the way it looks. I like the way the decoration sort of like folds in the sides a little bit. I mean, I'm quite happy with the castle. It's quite simple, but I'm quite happy with it. I like the concept, but considering I didn't plan it very well, it turned out okay. So, what about these technical issues that I've been talking about? Well, we may seem to be in the same game if I look this way, but over here you'll see that we're actually not in the same world. Well, we sort of are, we sort of aren't. I had to wipe every single chunk that wasn't useful for the filming. I wanted to film the last bit of the castle because it's the only way to end the episode. But I've been trying to end the episode for like 6 months. I had to destroy every chunk, and that really means every chunk all the way back to there. The only chunk we have left, the only bit of the space that's ours we have left, there's several chunks in here, but is up to the end of this line, this road here. So we still have the camping area a bit earlier, which is quite nice, but we don't have the road all the way back from there, and we don't have the village yet. Nothing over there works. And you'll begin to see that everything in this world sort of just stops eventually. If I move too far, they'll stop loading. I'll end up floating in nothing, and that's quite pretty actually. That's quite an issue. There have been so many issues in this episode that I very nearly couldn't put it out. So, well, I hope that this castle has been worth it. And I think this castle has been worth it. It was a really fun endeavour. And here you see, this probably won't reload actually now that I've gone far enough away from it, and I'll end up stuck in the ether for the rest of my life. So this is what this map is like now, and there's no real going back. I've got a backup of our old map, but it's much worse than this. Hey, you can get a cool intersection of the castle. Oh, it loaded. Good. The whole map, the real map, the one that's not had all the chunks wiped, is just 2 loaded chunks, and I really mean 2 little squares like this, or little rectangles. One over there and one over there, and the rest is nothing. So I have decided that this world is irreparable and I think corrupted, and that the best thing to do would be to start a new world. I don't honestly know what's gone wrong. It must be something in those areas over there that was causing problems. Maybe overuse of animal farms or too many NPCs, although I even packed up the NPCs when the world started getting laggy and put them in little frames so that I wouldn't lose them, and it still didn't really help. Well, basically the summary of this is we're going to have to move into a new Minecraft world, and we'll have to say goodbye to this one, which is a shame, because there's a lot of cool stuff in this one. But have no fear. I have learned a lot from making this series about what I want to do with it, how I want to sort of make my to-do list happen. I managed to hide a few of these, by the way, this piping here, so that's pretty good. It's still really dark in here, though. I've learned a lot about how I want to do this series, and I'm looking forward to starting again with a blank slate, because even this here that I wanted to do, this castle, I had better ideas about how to do it as I was doing it, and thoughts on how I could have done it differently. So what we're going to do is we're going to, unfortunately and kind of unceremoniously, say goodbye to this world, and we'll see each other next time in the new world. But I'm happy with the castle, at least. I like the way it looks. I like the way it works. I'm going to have it quickly debuild itself so that I can see it in the ruined form as well, because actually I'm a fan of both of them. I'll just knock out all these. Doesn't really matter. It doesn't really work anymore. Like stuff like disappearing blocks, I think is a good sign to say, okay, well, let's get out before we can't live here anymore. There you go. It looks cool when it's taking itself apart as well, disassembling. Because of lag issues, sometimes it sort of jumps between one stage and another, like all that roof disappeared in one. But well, it was a success. I'm going to call this a success. My favorite feature is definitely the water fountain and how it sort of reassembles itself, like the water cleans itself up. I think that's very cool. Oh, and I didn't mention that the way that I managed to have this, so this grass, if it was covered in water overnight, it would sort of disappear, which would cause issues, because in the morning it wouldn't look disassembled. It would look like some of the grass had disappeared, and I didn't like it. So what I had to do was put carpenter blocks here with grass over them so that they look like grass when the water comes off, which is overly complicated but works. And I did the same thing in a lot of spaces here. This is almost all carpenter's block, so that when the floor comes in and takes the grass away, it doesn't remove the grass. Otherwise it would just be dirt and it wouldn't look as good as I wanted it to. So there is our castle. There is the ruins of our world, and there is a hope for the future. We're going to be able to keep going. We just have to accept that it won't be in this world. Well, I'm glad we got it done anyway, and I will see you in the next episode of To-Do List Minecraft, and I'll just actually quickly thank you for watching this first series. I'm going to call it its first series or first season or something like that, but this first kind of thing of To-Do List Minecraft, and I'm looking forward to moving on and doing bigger and better things with you guys in a new world, hopefully better set up so that we won't have this happen as quickly again. So, thank you very much for watching. This has been Gesture of None. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave a comment below if you've got any ideas, questions, or suggestions. And I will see you next time.